710 Keel is your news and weather station.
Actually, they weren't big people, but they had a gun. They were just getting out of their car at the park, and a guy came up, two white guys came up to him. One of them said, "Hey, you got any gas money?" And the friend said, "No, man, sorry, we don't have any money." And they asked my son, "No, we don't have any money." He said, "Well, can I borrow your phone to call somebody?" So the friend goes to hand him the phone to call somebody, and the guy hits him in the face, knocks him down. Then these two black dudes get out of the car behind them, which they had noticed were there when they drove up, acting like they wanted to help him get up. And the next thing they know, they pulled a gun on him and said, "Give us all your stuff."
Explain to me step by step, if you would, how they were lured into this.
They weren't lured into it, to be
ambush.
honest with you. They just went there. You know, the parks are the places where they kind of tell you to go because that's, you know, a public place to go look for things. So they weren't not lured there. They just went there on their own.
The bad guys in this instance, the perps,
they might have known that people were coming.
Gotcha.
They might have been sitting there waiting.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have any interaction with them ahead of time.
it in fact looks like that was the case.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
How long has your son been playing this Pokemon Go?
A few days. I mean, he downloaded it this weekend. So, and he showed it to me yesterday. I thought, oh, this is kind of fun. You know, you just, oh, look, this is, you know, it's just cute. And they think it's just kind of funny and fun. It's not a big deal. They're not.
Perfect summer game, it would seem to me.
Yeah, it's like a scavenger hunt. I heard you say that. It's kind of like a scavenger. It's just fun.
And now who's playing it? Are these teenagers? Or what age group would you?
I say teenagers are playing it. We're seeing them all over town, too. You know, and then the police that came were so nice, and they said, you can go to Betty, Virginia Park, you can go to the Duck Pond, you don't need to go to Columbia Park. But my son was like, I didn't know it was a dangerous place. You know, he said, I had no idea. We used to live right down the street from there and on Wilkinson. So he didn't know. You know, we lived on the other side of the line, but he didn't have any idea it was a dangerous place.
Now, explain to me when they go to the park how they're collecting items. They're just digitally collecting it. Is that the deal?
There's nothing actually there. You just walk around. I think they're set with GPS coordinates is what it is. And when you get near that spot, then you see, oh, look, there's something. And then it comes up on your phone, and you flick this ball at it, and you catch it, and then you've got it in your little case of items.
Did your son call you from Columbia, from the police
No, he
station?
and the kid got in the back in his car, and they took off and went to their friend's house where they had met. And then he called me and said, "Mom, I just was a victim of an armed robbery." I'm like, "Oh, my God, you're kidding." It was crazy. It really was.
The one who was hit did not need medical treatment, huh?
No, he just had ice on his face. He was bleeding, but it wasn't real bad. So he did not need medical treatment.
Did they catch any of the guys yet?
Pardon me?
Did they catch any of the bad guys?
You know what's unbelievable? I don't know how much time you have, but the police came to the house. We were talking to them, and the first thing my son said to me when I got there, I left work and immediately rushed over there. The first thing my son says to me is, "Mom, we've got this app where I can see where my son is at all times. It's called Life 360. It's not Find My iPhone, but it's called Life 360. So I call, so my son says, "Mom, see if you can see where my phone is." So we look it up. It says Tinker Street. And then it says some other, it's all over there in Moortown near Hollywood and Jewella by the Calumet plant. So I tell the policeman this, and he says, "Oh, you know that Find My iPhone app, it's not very accurate about where your phone is." I said, "Well, this is different. This is pretty accurate." So he gets on his walkie-talkie, and he says, "Hey, is anybody over in this area? Can you go check out this address?" Because the kids also knew the license plate number of the car. They have presence of mind enough to look at the license, and they had part of it anyway. So the police calls on their thing. He says, "If anybody's over there, just take a look." So I say, "Okay, we'll send somebody." They call us back in 10 minutes and say, "We think we've got them." They put our kids in the police car, one in one car, one in the other, and they drive up. They say, "Can you do a one-on-one ID?" We get there. They've got the two boys. They've got the car. They identify them. They recover the cell phones, which they've already taken the SIM cards out. We don't recover the wallets, but they had the debit cards of each of the boys in their pockets. They had their cell phones, and we got the laptop back.
So what kind of advice, what kind of new rules have you laid down for your son? And so, or what will he do differently now?
Yeah, he will certainly not go to any, he needs to check with us before he goes any place, a public place like that. I mean, they were going downtown this weekend, and we were like, no, don't go downtown.
And advice you would have for other parents whose kids are doing this?
Is know where they're going. Make sure that you let them know, let the kids ask where they're going, let them know where they're going before they go, so the parents can say whether this is safe or not.